All right, it is midnight. I just saw the Black Phone. I decided to just shoot my review now. So welcome to the Beniverse. My name is Ben Friedman, and here is my review of the latest Scott Derrickson film, The Black Phone. All right, so The Black Phone. This is the latest horror installment from Scott Derrickson, who has previously worked in the horror genre with films like Sinister and The Exorcism of Emily Rose. He most recently worked on the Doctor Strange film from 2016, and this is his first step back into horror since then. This film stars Ethan Hawke reuniting him with his Sinister director, and this film follows 5 kids who get kidnapped in 1978 by a serial killer known as the Grabber. When the 6th kid, known as Finney Shaw, gets kidnapped, it is up to him and his sister to somehow defeat the Grabber using this supernatural phone known as the Black Phone, which is in the room that Finney is being abducted in. This is a supernatural thriller and horror film. And let me just state off right now, this is definitely way more of a thriller film. I've been hearing reactions about how this is one of the scariest films of the year. I disagree. It is a really well-directed film. It is a very tense film, and it is a very, at times, scary film. There are a multitude of jump scares in this film. There is a great use of horror elements, but this is not a straight-up horror film. This is definitely more in line with the thriller. If you are going in thinking this is the scariest film you'll ever see, take away those expectations now, because it is definitely more of a thriller with supernatural elements within this film. And let me just start with what I liked about this film. What I thought worked really well in this film is its supernatural elements. This film is very much show, never tell, in the sense that you see a lot of things happen with the supernatural elements in this film, but they don't tell you exactly what it is. The screenplay never just stops and explains what's going on. You're giving enough clues to kind of piece together what's going on and this weird connection that the brother and sister have with the supernatural, but it never tells you. It's very Stephen King in that essence. And I've been hearing a lot of discussion on Ethan Hawke's performance as the Grabber. And let me just say, I think it is a good performance, but I think it's a little bit been overrated online. This is not going to be one of the most iconic horror characters of all time. I think the design is really well done. The mask is very scary, but it's not this character that has a bunch of substance. He really is a means to an end. And I'm really trying carefully because I am getting close to spoiler territory. So I can't say much about the film because I think the less you know going into it, the more you might enjoy this film. So I'm being really careful when I talk about specifically the element of Ethan Hawke in this film. But what I will say is I thought the performance was captivating, and this film uses him sparingly, but I thought it was for the right reasons. Now, the people who surprised me the most in this film are the actors Mason Thames and Madeline McGraw, who play the brother and sister. Madeline, in particular, as Gwen Shaw, was fantastic in this film. She's a very talented young actress, and I can't wait to see more from her. I believe she is going to be a presence in Hollywood. And as a really young actress, she showcases a lot of range and emotion, and a lot of the film rests on her, and she does a great job with this film. There are elements in this film that never fully clicked with me. The screenplay is definitely thin. There are moments where the supernatural elements are not explained thoroughly. I didn't have a huge issue with it. I like the less is more approach to it, but there are a lot of things that leave you questioning what exactly is going on. And I think there could have been a few key scenes added in the film that would have just further developed the world, but without adding much to the runtime. I think there were easy ways to do that the film doesn't. For instance, there are some characters that pop in throughout the film, and I wish that they just explained a little bit more of how this connection works and what is going on, because for a lot of the film, you're left wondering what exactly is going on, and the film never fully gives you those answers. It hints at them at times, but it never fully gives you that answer, and I think some are going to be turned off by that. I, again, like that approach, but I understand why people would not. I had a friend who I saw it with who did not like this approach, and I totally understand because this film does leave you in the dark. This is a film, The Black Phone is a film where you are either brought into the tense atmospheric elements of the filmmaking that Scott Derrickson does, which I think he is masterful at, or you're not going to buy into this premise. I bought into Scott Derrickson's direction, his story, and everything, so it worked for me. If you're just not connecting with it, this film is not going to work for you. So I can totally understand people like me having really positive reviews of this film, and I can also understand someone having a really negative review of this film. There are elements in this film that I think, though, are undeniable. I think Scott Derrickson's direction is impeccable throughout. He is so great at atmospheric direction. The cellar that the boy is trapped in, you get the space and sizing of it, and it just feels lived in, and every noise and creak and just design and just the blood on the walls, it all feels lived in and it feels disturbing and creepy. And also, as a film that is set in the 1970s, Scott Derrickson's attention to detail to set you in the 1970s is impeccable. You can tell he has a respect for the types of films that were made back then, how they looked, and how they were captured on film. He does that in a really special way throughout this film, also giving you a few great needle drops along the way. Overall, I am positive on The Black Phone. I had a good time watching it. I thought it was very tense. I thought it had a lot of good scares. I thought it had some good comedy. I liked Ethan Hawke. I liked the performances of the two Shaw's brother and sister. And there was more than enough that worked for me to give this film a positive review. With that said, if you see this film and you hate it, I totally understand it because it does feel underdeveloped at times. It never bothered me, but if that atmosphere, if that tension, if that feeling of dread never connects with you, you're probably going to be let down by this film. It worked for me, and I was not let down by this film. I thought it was a pretty good horror film, and I'm giving it 3 out of 4 stars. Maybe not the review you were expecting if you saw reviews from CinemaCon or have been hearing praise about this film. I think people are going to be let down with this film. There was a lot of hype going into The Black Phone, and I don't know if it fully deserves that. But for what this film is, an abduction film with supernatural elements, I thought it worked. That's my review of The Black Phone. Are you going to see it this weekend? Are you a big fan of Scott Derrickson? Let me know here in the comments. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. My name is Ben Friedman here from the Beniverse. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.